Good afternoon, everyone. I, Arushi Gupta, extend a warm and hearty welcome to each and every one of you to the UDAY Startup Summit. I request Ms. Varuna Anand, Chairperson, FICCI Flow, Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh Chapter, to kindly join us and extend a formal welcome to our esteemed dignitaries.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students. It is with great joy and enthusiasm that I stand here before you today to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you to the UDAY Startup Summit. UDAY, Nai Umeedon Ki Shurwaat. It is an honor to... Today we are graced by the presence of esteemed personalities who have dedicated their lives to the field of industry, environment, commerce, and education. I extend a heartfelt welcome to Mr. Nikhil Gowda, Managing Director, Scheme India. Your leadership and commitment to fostering sustainable development are an inspiration to us all. We are grateful for your partnership in making UDAY a beacon of hope for the aspiring entrepreneurs of J&K. Mr. Punati Sridhar, IFS, former Head of Forest Force, Government of Karnataka, Chairman, Bamboo Society of India. Sir, your vast experience in environmental conservation and sustainable practices is invaluable. Mr. Khalid Jahangir, Managing Director, Jammu Kashmir Trade Promotion Organization, Government of J&K. We are honored to have your support in nurturing the economic growth of Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Arun Kumar Manas, Director of Industry and Commerce, Jammu. You bring strategic vision and expertise to foster economic growth and industrial development to this region. Mr. G. Veludurai, IEDS, Joint Director, Department of MSME, Government of India. Your role in supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises is crucial for the development of a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem. We welcome your guidance in shaping the future of J&K's startup and landscape. Dr. Ankur Gupta, Director, MITE. Your commitment to academic excellence and innovation aligns perfectly with the goals of UDAY, and we are more than privileged to have you as a part of our initiative. Mr. Vikrant Dogra, Chairman, Jammu and Kashmir Dairy Cooperation Federation Limited. Your leadership in the dairy sector is integral to the socio-economic fabric of the region. We are grateful for your presence and support in our endeavor. Mr. Ajay Chaudhary, Director, KC Residency. You exemplify an exceptional blend of astute business acumen and a rich family business heritage, carrying forward a legacy of integrity and innovation. Each of you plays a pivotal role in shaping the destiny of youth in Jammu and Kashmir. Your presence here today signifies a shared commitment to the growth, prosperity, and empowerment of the region. UDAY, Nai Umeedon Ki Shurwaat, a groundbreaking startup investment program co-organized by FICCI Flow, Jammu Kashmir Ladakh, Scheme India, and MITE as our knowledge and event partners. In the picturesque valley of Jammu and Kashmir, where the spirits of resilience has defined generations, we embark on a journey to foster entrepreneurship and innovation. UDAY signifies the rise of a new dawn, a dawn filled with endless possibilities, opportunities, and the promise of a brighter future. The program is designed with a singular goal to empower the youth of J&K by providing a platform for their entrepreneurial dreams to take flight. UDAY seeks to be a catalyst that propels aspiring entrepreneurs from every nook and corner of the region towards success and prosperity. We aim to inspire and encourage the spirit of entrepreneurship among the youth of Jammu and Kashmir by nurturing innovative ideas and contribute to the economic growth and development of the region. We will serve as a bridge connecting aspiring entrepreneurs with potential investors through strategic partnerships with Scheme India. We aim to create an ecosystem where ideas can find the necessary financial support and blossom into successful ventures. Our collaboration with Scheme India adds a layer of expertise and national perspective to UDAY. With their support, we intend to make this initiative a model for inclusive and sustainable development, showcasing the untapped potential of the Jammu and Kashmir youth. UDAY, Nai Umeedon Ki Shuruaat, is more than just a startup investment program. It is a commitment to unlocking the latent potential within the youth of J&K, offering them the tools, resources, and support they need to turn their aspirations into reality. Together, let us embark on this journey of empowerment and witness the rise of a new era filled with hope, innovation, and unparalleled success. Let the dawn of UDAY mark the beginning of countless success stories in Jammu and Kashmir. I once again extend a heartfelt welcome to each one of you, and let's collectively embark on this transformative journey of UDAY, Nai Umeedon Ki Shuruaat. May this initiative mark the beginning of a brighter, more hopeful future for the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We will now proceed with the panel discussion on the theme Promoting Startup Ecosystem in J&K, moderated by Professor Ankur Gupta, Director MITE. So, without further ado, I hand over the dais to you, sir.
Thanks, Arushi. I just want everybody to know that I am the accidental moderator for today's program. The real moderator couldn't be with us because all the flights to Jammu got cancelled yesterday. So please overlook any oversight on my behalf. So I'd like to begin with Mr. Sridhar, who's our esteemed guest from Bengaluru. So sir, Bengaluru is the national startup capital, right? So what insights can you kind of share with us from the Bengaluru experience, which could be, relevant to J&K as we try to embark on a journey to create our own startup ecosystem? What can we learn from the Bengaluru model?
Bangalore is the startup capital and the place where I stay, HSR in Kormangala. That is the hub for startups in Bangalore. Too many startups. In HSR itself, there are about 26,000 startups which have come up. They are working from within their homes, most of them. Some of them which are successful have actually gone on to acquire some space to establish their offices, and they're doing extremely well. I think what I hear is that basically there has been luck for them in this particular zone, and that's the reason why there's a lot of people coming in and getting into startups. Variety is fantastic. I mean, it's been the Silicon Valley of India, and then that's where everything has come up. And that's what basically the IT sector, that's where startups are, most of them are from, and then the potential is good, and then it's success which has paved the way for others to come in. Though the success rate is not very high, but then everybody is into it. So that's how things are, and I'm sure what we have started here today, I mean, you're inculcating an idea, kindling an idea of entrepreneurship among students, and I hear that almost 1,860 students have come up with their own innovative ideas. So each idea would have its own importance and potential in future, though some of them have been ultimately selected and are being awarded, but I'm sure every idea has its own importance, and if we start at the school level, and which we have started off, I'm sure this will be a model for the rest of the country. So I believe that there's a great scope here. Emulating from what has happened in Karnataka or in Bangalore or elsewhere in the country. Thank you.
The joke is that if you throw a stone in Bangalore, it will hit an entrepreneur. So, that's something that we can also look to emulate within Jammu and Kashmir. So, coming on.
I would like to say the side effect or the whatever it is benefit or is basically the land value has gone up in these areas, HSR and Kormangala, just on account of these, and then the rentals have gone up. rentals have just skyrocketed. So that's what it is. Thank you.
So I'd like to come to Mr. Khalid Jangi. Sir, you have seen J&K through your various postings in administrative services and all. What sense do you get around the energy and the enthusiasm in the region around startups, new business creation? So from a J&K perspective, क्या लगता है आपको कि वो क्या रहा है, हम कहाँ हैं, are we set up for great things ahead? What personal sense do you get when you look at your own region?
So first of all, good morning and thank you for providing me this opportunity to be part of this, scintillating panel. Sir has already, given us an attraction to move to Bangalore in a very subtle way. So he has marketed Bangalore, in the name of luck, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, Bangalore very rightly deserves to be called as the capital of Indian startups. First of all, before I come to your question, I'm very happy that we have organized this event in this institution. I mean, we, in J&K, this in a way is related to your question also. In J&K, we have to now start this activity of fostering entrepreneurship at the educational institutions. I mean, unless we start this activity in the institutions, we will not be able to achieve or realize the potential we have. Jammu and Kashmir is, very rich in talent, very rich in talent. We have been facing difficulties on different counts. But at the same time, the resilience of the people of Jammu and Kashmir is very remarkable. We are locationally disadvantaged. At the same time, if you see it, the resilience of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, we will see that, we are not bogged down by our challenges. So, there is an opportunity in J&K for, setting up a great ecosystem for startups. Given the talent pool and the, the kind of quality education we have in J&K, and the kind of urge the people have towards education, everybody wants that, his or her child should go to the school. This is something which is our, core strength, and this needs to be harnessed. Now, J&K, I see J&K from a perspective that initially we have been a little bit late. But the kind of initiatives the government has taken of late, it is very promising, and it is going to, create a landscape which will be full of entrepreneurship and new startups. India is the global, globally number 3 ranked as far as startups are concerned. And in the last 5-7 years, we have witnessed, remarkable growth, multifold growth of startups in India. However, in J&K, we have not been able to keep pace. There are multiple reasons, but of late, the government has started thinking very proactively as to how we can promote startups. We are going to notify a new startup policy very soon. It is at an advanced stage. In fact, it is not my domain, startups, as far as industry department is concerned. It would have been better that, the director of the UDAY would have been here. But, my organization's mandate is to contribute in one way or the other in policy advocacy. So, all the policies which the government in the recent years, post-2019, they have notified, there has been some contribution from the side of JKTPO. All the IT policy, the tourism policy, the land allotment policy. So the startup policy also we have been engaged in, in its revamping. We have a policy of 2018, but that is being revamped, and now we will have a new policy, 2024. There was no provision of seed capital fund in the previous policy. Now this policy has a provision. Once it is notified, there will be a seed capital fund. Because in initial stages, because we are having a legendary figure as far as startups are concerned, sharing ties with us. He has 6 patents already as an already in his name. So and many more are in the pipeline. So we wish you all the best. In the initial stages, our startups, they face the difficulty of getting finances. So seed capital fund is one of the provisions which has been incorporated in the policy for the first time. Then there are many other provisions for training, mentorship, networking, collaboration, market access, skill development, support to incubators, etc., etc. Secondly, if you would ask me how we can improve the startup ecosystem in JK, one is the policy level. I mean, the policy framework is upgraded, and which we will see very soon a new policy will be notified. Two, the incubation centers. I mean, they must be very robust. Like, I'm very impressed. I was not aware at all, and this is my ignorance actually, that MITE is having such a robust, incubation facility. And it's a wonderful job being done by MITE, and my compliments and congratulations to the management of. Because we generally think that government institutions, I mean IITs and IIMs and universities, we can have very high quality incubation facilities, but it's very heartening to see that MITE is engaged in very robust incubation activities. So we need to have incubation facilities in JK which are very robust, very vibrant. 3, we have to provide market support to our startups. 4, we have to give them investor connect. And I forgot to mention, one of the features of our policy will be setting up a venture capital fund worth rupees 250 crores. Initial 25 crores will be provided by the government, and later on funds, resources will be raised from various sources, including the networks which support startups. So there will be a venture capital fund to provide access to finance to the startups. So investor connect is very important, market connect is very important, robust policy framework is very important. So on all these prongs, we are witnessing a very remarkable change. And given the talent and the enthusiasm which we have, I am very optimistic that J&K will, in the next 3-4 years, will make its mark on the startup landscape of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for enlightening us with the various policy initiatives. I'd like to move on to Arunji. So Arunji happens to be my classmate from school. तो जम्मू में हम इकट्ठे ही बड़े हुए हैं और we have seen how Jammu has evolved. तो जम्मू में अरुण जी गवर्नमेंट जॉब के पीछे ही सब दौड़ रहे हैं. So startup की भी बात हो रही है. तो how can we talk to our youth and try and convince them to be risk takers? थोड़ा सा traditional thought processes तो society को भी बदलना है. Mother, father also need to be supportive of entrepreneurial ambitions. कहाँ से शुरुआत की जाए इसकी, आप given the context कि जम्मू में कैसे चीज़ें बदली हैं अभी तक. So what are your thoughts around that?
Thank you very much. I happen to be at my own Model Academy, and this was my maiden visit to this institute. And a lot of my relatives, they also have, they are themselves the alumni of this institute. Having said that, like the environment of the ecosystem, I would rather say, of when a child reaches 10th and 12th, the onus is on him to either become a doctor, engineer, or take humanities so that he can prepare for IAS and KS. kind of a job where one has a security, government, family. So right from the childhood, we are inculcated that we have to get into some kind of a secure job. If I take a jargon from a business, that everyone wants to enter a wage employment kind of a scenario. Hardly someone comes out of his college and enters into a landscape where he has to be a job provider or self-employment kind of thing. So that risk-taking capability, if someone asks me to give up my job and they'll provide me some kind of good package in private sector, I would hesitate to go. Because we are status quo, we don't want to get out of that comfort zone. सब अच्छा चल रहा है, जितना है थोड़े की ज़रूरत है. This kind of mindset we have been brought up, and this kind of mindset बच्चों में भी आ रहा है. So as you asked me the question, which is the right time? School is the right time, and eventually once you enter into a college and enter into a chosen stream, be it any kind of stream, engineering, then you do your master's. But once you come out of the college, once you come out of that thing of get into a employment kind of a sector, that has to be, like we have to take out that. That मुझे लगता है कि ये वाला जनरेशन में मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा चेंज होगा, लेकिन जिस तरह से चीज़ें, जिस तरह का एक बिजनेस इकोसिस्टम इट्स फास्ट चेंजिंग, तो स्लोली एंड स्टेडीली बच्चे आजकल दे हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योरियल ज़ील इन देम, and they have that risk-taking capability also, so that they could become a job provider instead of becoming a job seeker. So the right time is school, and eventually when you grow up, I don't know how many of you know that Telangana has they call it a task, Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge. It's like inculcating kind of things in a student right from the school level itself, so that when he goes to a college stage or university stage, and by that time he has that in him, if I don't get this on this side of the job arena, I have other field to explore. Even Delhi government has started a entrepreneurship curriculum. So I think that school children, students at like secondary level, we should target them, and from secondary, senior secondary, colleges, that we have to build that spirit of ecosystem. So all of them will be able to get more startups, more revenue for them, so that they have that zeal of being a risk-taking and creating an enterprise, not only for themselves, for others also who like to see those enterprises. So I think that we should keep it also school, then college, and eventually you will see a sea change among the children.
Thank you so much for your insights. So coming to Veludurai, sir, you look after the MSME sector, the micro, small and medium enterprises. So in Jammu and Kashmir, is there a lot of traction? Are new businesses getting registered at a good pace? What are the areas where new businesses are being registered? What is the sense that you can share with the audience in terms of what's actually happening in the ecosystem at the grassroots level?
First of all, I thank the organizers, ma'am, and I'm happy to be here. That is the institute which has so many patents. It's nice to hear, and of course the director himself, and of course Director of Industries is from the alumni. It's very nice to hear, nice environment. And as such, first of all, entrepreneurship, basic, if you have a batch of 100 students, maybe in the college level, the percentage of reply getting to become an entrepreneur is very less. The percentage is very less. Most of the time, the issue is not understanding the basic difficulty or basic purpose. An entrepreneur, basic reasons, normally people used to think, basic reasons. I am less educated. That's not the case. the most successful businessmen are less educated. And most of the people think background. We do not have sufficient good background of known peoples. That's not so. Most successful businessmen are from, they started from zero. And sometimes they used to say a strategic location. For example, a person starts his life in Mumbai. That is where he's better placed to become an entrepreneur. That's not the case. We have people which very regional places. They have become successful entrepreneurs. And most of the time, this is not known to the right audience. That is the students, final year students, or the pre-final year students. This is not known to them most of the time. And most of the time we, from J&K, we have been said, or we have been come across from an environment which is less advantageous. It's not so. Ground reality, we have to come across to see things, see changes happening. We are number one in walnut production. That's there. We have plenty of raw material, apple storage, food is sector, and we have leather sector. That's most of the time we are not aware of it. You know, we are producing, that is 20 lakh pieces of raw material in single day, in one function itself. All the raw materials from J&K is sold in the same raw material stage outside J&K. Our profits are taken by somebody else. Wool sector, we have plenty of wool with us. Most best quality wool. That profit has been taken out by somebody else. We have so much of resources. We have been, for XYZ reasons, we have not been utilized this. This entrepreneurship culture, if taken in the right spirit, these are few areas what I have mentioned. It's not that only these areas. We have plenty of areas. Now our education system has been improved a lot. We can go for software related, and today's example clearly demonstrates it. We can take software sector. There also we have plenty of scope. So one thing, it's very clear, we have to come out of the basic out of the box thinking. After education, we should go for job. That out of the thinking you have to come out. When you, I do not say that next day you come out of your institute, you go for an startup. That of course that is the option is there. That does not mean manufacturing sector. If you want to have your footprint in manufacturing sector, you need to have some practical experience. That plays a major role. You have to have practical experience for maybe 1 or 2 years or so. You go through your manufacturing, whole manufacturing idea, how it happens. Then if you implement it, you can make sea change. And as such, any sector you can say, we have plenty of resource with us. If we come out of our existing thinking model, we can definitely make Jammu Kashmir in a shortest span among the most developed area of our country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, Vikrant ji, I come to you. You are the champion of cooperative structure of, getting things done. So, I am also not aware of what the cooperative structure is, and I am sure the audience would also love to know what is this cooperative structure, how does it compare to a startup, and how can cooperatives also be thought of as new venture creation and contribute to economic growth and development of the region?
Thanks a ton, Anku sir. First of all, I would like to congratulate our Arun Manas ji and Khalid Jangir ji. They have represented Jammu and Kashmir in Gujarat Vibrant. I think that was one thing that has been missed today. इस चीज़ को सर highlight करना चाहिए. So this actually came into my mind when I was listening to my co-speakers, because most of the students, the young aspirants, they are wanting to understand that what exactly is startup. तो अगर हम इसको बड़ी सरल भाषा में करें, आई थिंक जो अंकुर जी ने मुझे पूछा, आई विल कम टू दैट. If I'm allowed, I think I can wind up my small story in 30 seconds, and it will set the this thing going. The program today is UDAY, and the word is startup. So आज वैसे ही राममय माहौल चल रहा है, and a lot of our teaching comes from Vedas and other religious scriptures. So अगर आप सारी वैदिक टीचिंग को एक नटशेल में करें, तो हमारे कहा जाता था उठो जागो प्राप्त करो, start up. So this is one teaching that comes from the Vedas. और शायद हमारा कोई भजन भी था कि उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है, जो सोवत है सो खोवत है. So it was, I think, तब इस तरीका का institutionalized नहीं था, but they have some communication कि हमें करना क्या है. So the story goes like this कि there is a hunter, एक hunter है, and he hunts, and I think this is his entrepreneurship. So one day he goes and sees that कि एक jackal है, एक लोमड़ी है, तो उसके पैर टूट गया, ankle. Now he's thinking that how this jackal, जब तक ये लोमड़ी हंट नहीं करेगी, खुद को फीड कैसे करेगी. So everything every day is wondering कि अब ये इसका क्या बनेगा, इसका क्या होगा. So one day he goes to the forest and sees कि वहाँ पे एक टाइगर है, और उसने अपनी हंटिंग की, और हंटिंग के बाद अपने जो हंट थी उसका कुछ पोर्शन उस लोमड़ी को दिया. And he was all overwhelmed with joy कि ईश्वर, भगवान जिसने पैदा किया है सबको पालता है. सो इवन अगर इसका पैर टूटा था तो टाइगर ने आके उसे फीड कर दिया. एंड वाई वी आर रनिंग आफ्टर मटेरियलिज्म एवरीथिंग, हमें तो भगवान सब कुछ करेंगे, ईश्वर करेंगे. तो ही लेफ्ट हिज बो एंड एरो कि मुझे भी भगवान आके फीड करेंगे. सो हुआ क्या कि नाउ ही हैज लेफ्ट, ही वाज फास्टिंग 1 day 2 day आफ्टर ही वाज लूजिंग हिज सेंसेस एंड अदर थिंग. अब ट्रांस आ गई, 80-90% conscious is lost. So he got a connect. Trance में he was symbolically talking to the God. And God says कि why you are so stubborn and adamant कि आपने अपना effort छोड़ दिया, कर्म करना छोड़ दिया. So he said कि I saw this thing. कहते what exactly you saw? कहते मैंने ये देखा कि लोमड़ी का पैर टूटा, she was unable to hunt. वो टाइगर आके उसको फीड करता है, भगवान ने टाइगर को भेजा, उसको फीड किया. Okay. So he said कि okay, this is what you saw. कहते why you chose to become a लोमड़ी jackal, टाइगर क्यों नहीं बने आप. So this is how we have to think. First of all, the thinking comes at individual way. पहले देखना है कि I am विक्रांत डोगरा, मुझे इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे क्या सोचना है. Then I come from certain family, उस लेवल पे मैंने क्या सोचना है. And now I am coming to something very important. When Arun ji or Khalid ji was representing in Gujarat, they were not individuals, they were representing a UT. So this is the 4-tier thinking we have to inculcate. Individual, family, at the community level, at the, I think even at the Jammu region level, or even at the UT level. Okay? So this is the thought process we have to evolve. So this is the whole idea of the cooperatives, which is coming to me. So what we were doing was that in Jammu and Kashmir, in the erstwhile state, Jangir sir, we were the least cooperatively developed state of the country. When we go outside, we see every agri-allied activity in cooperatives, housing things in cooperatives. We see banks, cooperative banks doing very fine in rest of the country. And somebody came from the, I think Delhi, and he asked me what is happening in cooperative. We said we are zero. And he said that how this state is working if there is no cooperative institutes. See, from Jammu perspective, what we are trying to do, Arun ji has been one of my sport in this thing in his earlier term as MD JK Agro. We focused on rural economy. So idea is that if there is a startup, who is the applicant? Is it an individual? Is it a partnership firm? Or can that be done by a group of people? If Mr. X is not having the capital and the courage to do a startup, X, Y, Z, 3 people can come together, and that is the idea of cooperative. You might be knowing, it is for the information of the student. The most important political figure of the country is our beloved Home Minister. He is Minister for Home Affairs and Cooperation. So from that you can underline what is the importance of cooperative in our economy. See, we have been hearing this thing and we have been reading, and a lot of the opposition leaders are flaunting this thing. We are being run by a handful of capitalists. This is true. 70–80%, it is not, I think this is in the public domain. This is reality. We are capital-driven economy, but how to replace that economy? We cannot be communist. So we have to come up with our own model. For me, cooperative is something, it is a journey from India to Bharat. We have to address the people who are not capitally rich, who cannot invest, who doesn't have a strong asset base, but they have a very strong feeling of doing something. Anything you thought of, I can give you 5–10 example. People think that cooperative is mostly associated with agriculture. It is wrong. We have created sports cooperatives. 5–10 coaches, one was knowing cricket, one was knowing taekwondo. They created 10 people together, they came together. They created a sports and health and well-being cooperative. They are training, they are earning. We have created a event management cooperative. 10–12 people, again, similar, like-minded, they are willing to share the liabilities and the profit. And cooperative, as a Companies Act, you know, it is more mature when it comes to profit distribution. It is more mature than any other act when it comes to, you know, safeguarding the interest of the promoters and shareholders. So as the discussion improves, I think this is one of the main, I think I can summarize our beloved Prime Minister has given, Sahkar se Samriti. You note the date. Today is, I think, 20th January 2024. Next 10 years, we will see, every second day you will see that cooperative economy coming up. Government of India has created 3 more federations: National Oil Federation, National Export Federation, and National Seed Federation. So maximum of the export will now be routed from that cooperative sector. So it is a 4-tier system. At primary level, we have a primary cooperative society. For example, understand that there is a startup who is sitting in, let's say, Kot Badwal. He doesn't even have a connect at district level. So cooperative, what it does that, at primary level, 5–10 people, individual coming together, they form a cooperative society. It's called primary cooperative. So then 5–10 primary cooperatives, they get together and they become a district level union cooperative, secondary level. Then 5–10 secondary level cooperatives, they can form a federation. They can federate together. So this will eliminate the challenge of branding. They can come together into one brand. This will eliminate, it will create a circular economy. If some unit in Jammu is surplus, you know, and some unit in Udhampur is deficient, they can create that exchange. So it is kind of an exchange and people coming together, like-minded people coming together. And national level, we have got more than 20 federations and more are coming up. Then there is a 4-tier system that is a linking with the national economy. So that has been lacking in J&K and we are trying for last 3 years to get that, to come on the cooperative graph of India. That is from my side.
So we have the next session at 2:30, so the time is a little short, but I'll go once again to our panelists and ask you for a short message to the audience today, and starting with Mr. Sridhar. What would you like to tell the audience today on startups and Jammu and Kashmir? What message would you like to give, sir?
Sridhar sir has already summed it up very nicely. मैं तो बच्चों से यही कहूँगा कि this is the right time to, think about becoming an entrepreneur, because you have got the right kind of, ecosystem in place. और अरुण जी ने जो पहले बात कही थी, आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड वन थिंग. पॉलिसी जो नई आ रही है, स्टार्टअप पॉलिसी, देयर इज़ वन प्रोविजन इन दैट ऑल्सो. You can take a break of 1 year while you are in the college, and you can that gap year concept, that you can think about entrepreneurship. So this is new innovative concept being introduced in the policy, that at the very young age, if a student intends to become an entrepreneur without affecting his or her studies, he or she can actually take a plunge into entrepreneurship and startup. So I think that my only request and submission to the students is that government jobs are very limited. 1, 2, there are vast opportunities available in the field of entrepreneurship. And the kind of talent which I have seen outside, by way of this small exhibition, the kind of ideas which have been, pitched, it is something, very encouraging and very vibrant. And I'm very hopeful that, we can have, startups ranging from technology to agriculture to, industry to manufacturing, IT and AI, and then machine learning, data analytics, all these diverse fields. So Jammu Kashmir is something at this, it's on the cusp of a change. The kind of environment and the policy support and the initiatives the government is taking, and I think that we should not now miss the bus. We have already been late, but it's never too late. So my message to students is that should take up this job, but be very cautious, be prudent, because business is something where you have to be risk takers also, but at the same time circumspect also. You can't take a very a plunge which is not calculated. You can't take an unrealistic plunge. There are risks, but at the same time, there are opportunities. So I think that you have to balance everything and then decide. Thank you very much.
Arunji, over to you.
Taking a cue from Khalid sir, what he said, since we are having a like conclave on startups, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि करना है. सर्कमस्पेक्शन बहुत ज़रूरी है. ऐसा नहीं है कि स्टार्टअप पे आप चलेंगे तो पिक्चर बहुत रोज़ी है, स्ट्रगल्स बहुत होंगे. अभी तो जैसे एक हम चीज़ भूल जाते हैं कि हमको अपने जो गवर्नमेंट की के चलते, जो सर ने कहा कि जो नई पॉलिसी आ रही है उसमें इस चीज़ का ध्यान भी रखा. बट नॉट विद स्टैंडिंग दैट, हैव दैट इन यू. लगता है कि एंटरप्राइज चलाना है, शुरू करना है, और एक एंटरप्रेन्योरल ज़ील है, चाहते हैं, आप ज़रूर करिए. मुझे नहीं लगता कि हम ऐसे कितने लोग यहाँ पे बैठे हैं या पहली पंक्ति में बैठे हैं कि वो अपना पहला मनपसंद जो प्रोफेशन था या काम था वो कर रहे हैं. मुझे लगता है बहुत परसेंटेज कम होगा. मैं अपनी बात करूं तो हालात शेयर्स की वजह से एक एग्ज़ाम नहीं दिया तो वहाँ नहीं हुआ, दूसरे में घुस गए, दूसरा नहीं तो तीसरा, इवेंचुअली फाइनली हम सिविल सर्विसेज, स्टेट सर्विसेज में आ गए. बट दैट वाज नॉट अ फर्स्ट थिंग आई वांटेड. चलते चलते हो गया, लेकिन कभी जीवन आना ना पड़े. अभी जब आप 40 साल की उम्र में, 35 साल की उम्र में पीछे देखें, ये लगना चाहिए कोशिश नहीं की. ईमानदारी से वो कोशिश करिए, अगर आप में है वो ज़ील वो करने का तो ज़रूर करिए, बाकी नौकरी तो है ही है। व्हाट सेइंग इज दैट कि जो पैशन है, जो जज्बा है, उसको कायम रखते हुए उसको ज़रूर करिए, एक ट्राई तो ज़रूर दीजिए। जैसे सर ने कहा कि आपके पास 1 साल का बीच में ब्रेक भी है, वो ज़रूर करिए। और अगर अब स्टार्ट हम कहते हैं हमारे 115-120 यूनिकॉर्न्स अभी हो गए हैं, ये सक्सेस का रेट हमको पता है, लेकिन जो फेलियर्स है, मैं डरा नहीं रहा, मैं सिर्फ ये कॉशन दे रहा हूँ, एक केवेट रख रहा हूँ कि इफ़ इन केस यू हैव इट इन यू देन प्लीज गो फॉर इट, डू इट, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे कि जीवन में वो करिए जिसमें पैशनेट है, वो करके पछताना ना पड़े, वो कह रहा हूँ। बाकी सरकारी नौकरी भी बहुत अच्छी होती है, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं आपको वो कर रहा हूँ, चैलेंजेस यहाँ पे भी है। अब वो दौर नहीं रहा जैसे मैं अपने फादर के दौर में देखता हूँ कि 4 बजे के बाद फोन नहीं होते, नौकरी बंद हो जाती थी। अब तो ये 24/7 वाला है, इतना वो रोजी पिक्चर यहाँ पे भी नहीं है, बट स्टिल जो आपको लगता है वो ज़रूर करिए, दैट इज़ माई व्हाट आई एम सेइंग। तो सेकंड फिर से रिटेरेट करूँगा, कॉस्ट ऑफ बिंग रेपिटेटिव, कि हमको मुझे तो उदय का ये भी एक ऑब्जेक्टिव था कि जो एंटरप्रेन्योरियल जो इनकलकेट करना है बच्चों में स्पिरिट एंटरप्राइज का, वो स्कूल लेवल से शुरू करना है। तो लगता है एक कंसिडर्ड एक कॉन्फिडेंट चॉइस जब स्टेज पे सोची समझी एक चॉइस लेके चलेगा, मुझे स्टार्टअप की ओर जाना है, जॉब की ओर जाना है, तो वहाँ तक उसको तैयार रहना है। तो दिस इज व्हाट आई थिंक दैट बी।
Thank you very much.
Because I have forgotten one thing. See, एक बात मुझे भूल गई, which is from my point of view very important. जो मैंने बाहर जो एग्जीबिशन देखी, lot of problems which we face, they were identified, and then our young talented students and their mentors, they have worked on proposing a solution. So in J&K, we have lot many areas where we can focus. Veludurai ji bata rahe the ki food processing has lot of opportunity in J&K. So some of you can think, what kind of solutions, what kind of value addition, what kind of innovations we can do in food processing sector based on the strength which we have, based on the raw materials which are available within J&K. Similarly, tourism, Oyo ki example हमने सुनी है ना tourism में. So tourism has immense potential, enormous potential, untapped potential in J&K. So we can think of solutions for tourism. Similarly, handicraft and handloom sector, this area is premium quality in the entire world. So we can, identify problems and propose solutions so that, we can also, contribute our bit. Thirdly, I was a visiting officer in a panchayat in Samba district. It is Naran Panchayat. It is an agri-based panchayat. Lot of land is available which is cultivable. But the farmers there, they are facing one challenge. And I am, throwing this today on the table before all the talented boys and girls to find a solution to the problem. The problem is of, wild animals spoiling the crop. Nilgai, monkey. There are electric fences available. They are very costly. And ये नीलगाय जो है very robust animal. तो ये तो वो तार वार जो वो बांधते उसको कुछ नहीं, and jumping over 10 to 15 feet height fence. तो कोई भी चीज़ deter नहीं कर पा रही है. With the result, the farmer is slowly, gradually getting demotivated to cultivate his or her land. जो भी cash crops है उसकी तरफ नहीं जा रहे. तो यहाँ पे मैं देख रहा था कि बड़े technology based solutions आ रहे हैं, low cost solutions. So I am suggesting कि आप इस problem का solution देखिए, because जम्मू कश्मीर में ये problem हर जगह है. Even I have served as in Kashmir, वहाँ भी मैंने देखा है, apple crop को monkeys जो है वो तहस नहस कर देते हैं. तो हमारा चूँकि you must be aware, वॉलनट में बता रहे थे कि वी आर द लार्जेस्ट प्रोड्यूसर ऑफ वॉलनट्स. 25 लाख मेट्रिक टन फ्रेश फ्रूट जो है वो एनुअली भी प्रोड्यूस. वैल्यू एडिशन वी वेरी लेस, बट 25 लाख मेट्रिक टन्स ऑफ फ्रेश फ्रूट इज बीइंग प्रोड्यूस्ड इन J&K, जिसमें मैक्सिमम कश्मीर वैली में होता है. सो वहाँ पर भी ये प्रॉब्लम फेस होती है, मंकी मेनेस. So if some low cost solutions can be worked out, maybe कोई यहाँ से कोई startup निकल जाए which can make its mark like देखो Paytm etc. Zomato वगैरह वगैरह. Thank you very much.
Okay. During my first speech I said about manufacturing sector. Okay, let us assume that here we have a 30-35% audience. We are not inclined towards manufacturing sector. What will happen to them? As such, Indian exports, the percentages of direct exports, the manufacturer who is exporting is very less, very less. It is less than 5%. Less than 5%. The manufacturer, he directly exports. It is less than 5%. And this is a big area where you can venture. No risk is involved, only basic documentation needs to be studied by your side. The basic communication to your foreign buyer has to be done by your side. That is feasible by you. You are well educated. You are aware of the policies, procedures, everything. Then this area, if you can touch it, you can easily make things brighter for you and prosperity for our own J&K. This area you can focus. Thank you.
I'd just like to apprise the audience members and the distinguished panelists that in the final year, if the student decides to pursue entrepreneurship and do a startup, the full year the student can be off and he'll get credit for doing the startup without the need to take any additional courses. So we have made a provision that for 1 year the student can pursue an entrepreneurship and startups as part of the final this thing. Ikranji, over to you.
Like Jahangir sir said, I was reading one of the quotes of Abraham Lincoln. He said that give me 6 hours to cut a tree, for 4 hours I will grind my axe. So I think you have a lot of time for that. I think your mentors and teachers are helping you out. But my 25 years of experience, and I'm also a MBA from Symbiosis and did my Master of Business Law from Bangalore. Think from the perspective of community. This is the economy that is going to be very, very relevant when you will step out from this institute. Because this is the buzzword around the country. Today we see that a lot of fog and flights getting cancelled. It has changed the course of entire program. You know, we are naturally rich, blessed place. Jammu and Kashmir, 80% water is already categorized as mineral water. 70-80% forest cover is a blessing. Okay, we need not to become Bangalore or something else. Concrete cannot define development. Fast cars cannot define development. So we have to build an economy. 10 years back, I was thinking that why everybody is going to Kota? This is a beautiful temperature zone, Jammu, Kashmir. Educational economy तो यहाँ होनी चाहिए थी. You know, tourism economy, tourism के नाम पे भी हमने होटल ही खड़े किए हैं. You know, everybody is trying to cut, copy, paste. So idea is that if I am doing something, let other 4 not copy that और उसी को copy paste करके उसका भी down कर दे. And we have to think ahead. We have to make अपना idea हमें बनाना पड़ेगा, and we have to think at the community level. I think when it comes to my subject, cooperative, like Khalid sir has given you a task, I can also give you a task. Conduct a study on cooperative structure. How earlier PSUs were run by cooperatives, how banking institutions still are wanting to have attention of common people. So whole cooperative economy can consume more than 1 lakh employment opportunities in J&K. जो हमारी नज़रों से नहीं गुजरी. I think those case studies can also be done by institutes. I think this has been a wonderful opportunity, like Arun sir and everybody is concerned because in years ahead, don't think that you are going to become an employee of certain period because महीने की तनख्वाह शायद घंटों की तनख्वाह में change हो जाए. Because if somebody goes for education to Europe or America, they step out of their houses, 2 घंटे कहीं काम किया, $10 कमाए, आज खाया, कल खाया. That can come to us also. We need to work and we have to seize opportunity, not concede opportunities. I give you a very small example and it is a very raw example. I think 20 years back, अरुण जी, हमारे जम्मू में जो राज मिस्त्री था वो लोकल था और लेबर बाहर से थी. अब सब कुछ हमने एज ए लोकल कम्युनिटी आउटसाइडर को कंसीड करना शुरू कर दिया. हमारे वेजिटेबल सेलर्स बाहर से हैं, हमारी मेड्स बाहर से हैं, सारी सर्विस सेक्टर ही, और हमें लग रहा है कि एंड वी आर कंसीडिंग इट आउट, हैप्पीली कंसीडिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज़. सो हम क्या कर रहे हैं कि इवन बिजनेसेस को भी हम कंसीड करते जाएंगे. लाइक सर सेड वॉलनट, आई थिंक सर आई विल ड्रॉ योर अटेंशन इन वन ऑफ द मीटिंग्स. इट वाज हमारा एक्सपोर्ट डिक्लाइन हुआ है वॉलनट में, ज़बरदस्त तरीके से एक्सपोर्ट वॉलनट का हमारा गिरा है. तो इट शुड बी यू नो, हमें रात को नींद नहीं आनी चाहिए कि जम्मू कश्मीर से अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ बाहर कैसे जा रही हैं. अगर एप्पल का चैलेंज अगर एचपी से आ रहा है, एज ए JNK वी शुड थिंक नहीं यार, जहाँ जाऊँ अपने एप्पल की बात करूँ. एट ए कम्युनिटी लेवल वी हैव टू थिंक, और वहाँ पे हमने अपने इंडिविजुअल गोल्स को भी बीच में एडजस्ट करना है. वी हैव टू टेक एवरीबडी टुगेदर. थैंक यू.
So, due to paucity of time, I would have loved to have this conversation going on for much longer, but thank you so much for enlightening us, providing deep insights, and encouraging the audience with your words of wisdom. Thank you so much, deeply appreciated. One of our partners from Let's Venture, they are an angel investing platform. So they were supposed to be here and Saina was supposed to be the moderator. So she is joining us from Bangalore. She landed in Srinagar last evening and flew back to Bangalore. Couldn't land, but she wants to just join in and say a few words.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. It's my absolute pleasure to join all of you today, and it is also my absolute regret that I couldn't be with you all in person. But I will try to use the few minutes that I have today to take you all through my observations about what it takes to start up, what it takes to be an entrepreneur in our country, and also give you all a little bit of an overview of once you all have built your businesses to a certain scale, what it will take for you all to fundraise and get on to my 20 odd years of working life. I think hundreds, if not thousands of founders and entrepreneurs of, when I say literally all shapes and sizes, right? People who are, building, taking the legacy of their family businesses forward. They are entrepreneurs too. people who are starting from nothing and building social enterprises that are making meaningful differences in their community. Those are entrepreneurs too. And then there are people who raise a lot of funding and who we tend to see on television and read more and more about in the newspapers. The unicorn founders and the decacorn founders, those are entrepreneurs too. So, like I said, businesses and founders, entrepreneurs come in all shapes and sizes. I think for where and this program, the kind of mentorship that the Uday you all are very early in your journeys, and I think therefore it is also very important for each one of you to really think about what kind of business you want to build and what kind of entrepreneur you want to be, because once you have your mission in place very strongly and you understand the principles behind that very strongly, you will be successful, right? And the measure of that success, you will realize, is not in being featured in a newspaper or on social media or on television. What becomes important is that you are able to solve the problem that really triggered that instinct in you to found a company and build something big, right? So if you will want to take back with you guardrails to keep in mind. One is that I've noticed is that a lot of very, very intelligent and even mission driven founders tend to forget that what you need to always love is the problem that you're solving and not the solution that you built, right? You have to be engaged with, you have to be missionary towards your problem and keep looking at the problem that you're trying to solve from different angles. The first solution that you think will solve the problem that you want to solve might not necessarily work out. So you must have the flexibility, both mentally, emotionally, and otherwise, to pivot your company, to start looking at different solutions that still go to the heart of your problem, right? Entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, right? Only at the top. So find people that will join you. Your team members have to be smarter than you, and they have to be grittier than you, right? As a founder, so try and find those people early on in your journey. Nurture those relationships and keep them close to you, because you will realize that the outside world will come and go. Interest from people outside your company will go through those ebbs and troughs, but your team will be there for you, right? So find gritty people, because this is not easy, this is very, very difficult. And find people who are smarter than you. Even today, when I'm hiring people onto my team, I'm making sure that the people I hire are smarter than me, right? Me to keep learning, to keep doing different things, right? Otherwise, it's very easy to become complacent. And find yourself good mentors, find yourself enthusiasts who will guide you, who have seen more of the world than you have. I know that when businesses are doing well, or even professionally when we are doing well, we think we know everything, only to realize when the tough time comes that we don't know everything, and we all really wish that we had that one really strong mentor advisor who could show us a vision that we are not able to see so clearly because we are down in the trenches. And lastly, and that will take me to where Let's Venture perhaps can be of use to you, but I'm going to caveat that by saying that uh, customer money in any business is the most important kind of money that you can have, right? It is more important than venture funding. It is more important than private equity capital. It is more important than any other kind of capital that you will dig into. The money that customers will give you for a pain point that you're solving for them is the strongest, not just validation of your business, but it is the strongest kind of capital to have in your bank, because that money will not disappear, right? Investors with the trends around them might change their mind. So what looks very, very interesting today might not look so interesting 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line. But customers who love your product or love your service will continue to open their wallets for you, right? So this is not to say that you don't need external capital to build and scale your business. You absolutely do. And I'll tell you how Let's Venture can be helpful. But really, really internalize this. The money that someone gives you, their own hard-earned money, to your product or to your service or to your company or to the cause that you're trying to solve for, should always be sort of your uh, true north, right? And how you can do better by that customer. How can you make your product service better for that customer? And not necessarily, though you will have to do it sometimes, not necessarily what looks good for your investors or for the people who gave you money. Right. So now on that note, let me tell you a little more about what we do at Let's Venture and how you all might, through Let's Venture or otherwise, explore raising capital for your startups or businesses, right? First and foremost, Let's Venture is an online digital platform. And literally, if you go to letsventure.com, you will see a button over there which asks you if you are a founder or an investor. And if you are a founder and you're building a business which has reached some scale, and by some scale, I mean, you have at least uh, tens of lakhs of rupees worth of business or something in the early crores worth of business, you could definitely look at raising capital from Let's Venture. If you're not at that stage, but you still really want to understand what venture capital is all about or raising angel money is all about, and sometimes if you have a really, really strong idea on paper which has just started seeing very early traction, and by traction I mean you already have a few paying customers and so on and so forth. You have a very, very strong innovation or some strong R&D that you have done that can start getting monetized over a period of time. You might still explore raising capital from a platform like us, because there are lots of angel investors. These are people who are typically CXOs in large companies who have anywhere between 1 to 2 lakh rupees to write as capital into your company, right? And they will take a little bit of an equity of your company for that. So in the early days, it also becomes very important for you to realize or start understanding the finance things a little bit. As a founder, you cannot live under a rock, and you cannot say that I only want to build, I'm very passionate about my idea, and someone else on my team is going to manage fundraising for my business. That will not be helpful. That will actually be counterproductive for you. So having said that, you can go to the website. You can look at a very simple form that needs to be filled out, where you need to give details about what your business is, what kind of traction you have raised, why you believe that there is large scalability in this proposition. We then have a team internally that curates, vets all of the proposals that come to us. And from there, we pick up, certain ideas or certain businesses that we believe are right for venture funding and take those out to fundraise. In this early stage of business, it's very important to have some proof of concept, right? You simply cannot have a pitch deck where you have actually not gone out and done any business, right? Because at a very early stage, what angel investors, not just on Let's Venture, but anywhere, and you may approach, an angel investor even individually. A lot of them are very, very prominent on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. A lot of them have large teams to help them out, and you might approach any of them through those channels. what everyone will look for is after you developed the initial idea, how have you been able to execute on it, right? Which is just comes down to say कि उस चीज पे आपने कितना धंधा किया है, right? If you had an idea for a certain kind of biscuit or a certain kind of food item, or you have a certain idea for a digital marketplace, right? How many customers have you been able to draw to your online marketplace? Or how many packs of your new innovative kind of food or beverage have you been able to sell? What has been the response to that? What is your idea on how you're going to scale it? Are you going to set up your own manufacturing plant? Are you going to use third party manufacturing units? How are you going to get working capital? Right? Those are the kind of questions that you will have to answer. So it's very important before you go out and start looking to fundraise that you have your business fundamentals right, and that you have done a little bit, you've done 2-3 years of business, right? To be able to know whether this proposition is also scalable or not, right? Which takes me back to the very first point that I made. Entrepreneurs and companies come in all shapes and sizes. Not every idea needs venture capital, right? Not every idea needs millions of dollars to scale it out, right? You might want to run something just for your community or just for your state or just for your district. And those are all good problems to solve, but they might not necessarily be problems or businesses that require a lot of growth capital to be raised. You could do very well with taking informal lines of credit, or if you're doing something which is manufacturing linked, you could take a grant from the government. There are several available. Today, banks have become more open minded about seeding new businesses, and you could approach all of those before you come and dilute a part of your company to raise venture capital in that sense. Right? Because once you get onto that wheel of having raised angel investing, you then need to go on raise your next round and so on and so forth, so that you are able to then really scale up and grow the company. So know, like I said earlier, what kind of entrepreneur you want to be, what kind of business you want to create, and there is really dignity and there is joy of company building in all of these methods. So on that note, I want to wish all of you all a wonderful, wonderful journey with each of your businesses. Let's Venture, and personally, I am always available, always happy to talk to young founders and understand how they are building, scaling their businesses. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interact with you, and I hope this was helpful.
Thank you, everyone. I now request Ms. Varuna Anand, Chairperson, FICCI Flow, Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh Chapter, Ms. Ruchika Gupta, Incoming Chair, FICCI Flow, Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh Chapter, Joint Director, MITE, and Mr. Nikhil Gowda Kedamari, Scheme India, to kindly join us on stage and present a memento symbolic of a profound gratitude to our distinguished guests. I request Mr. Punati Sridhar to please come forward and accept the memento as a heartfelt token of appreciation from FICCI Flow and Scheme India. Thank you, sir. I request Mr. G. Veladurai, IEDS, to please come forward and accept the memento. Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Vikrant Dogra to please come forward and accept the memento. Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Arun Kumar Manhas to please come forward and accept the memento. Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Khalid Jahangir to please come forward and accept the memento. I now request, last but not the least, Professor Ankur Gupta to please come forward and accept the memento. Thank you, sir. We will now break for lunch, which is organized in Block A. I request everyone to please reconvene at 2:45 p.m. sharp. The students are requested to please be seated at their respective places. Towards the very end.
Can we just have a group photograph?
Students are requested to please be seated at their places. I repeat, students are requested to please be seated. We'll be posing for a group photograph. Thank you. Exhibition room.